If I sing well, will you give me a plate of food? The auditorium went silent. Sky stood center stage. Barefoot. Dirt on her face. Holding a broken guitar. 3 judges sat at a long table in front of her. 2 men in suits. 1 woman in a blazer. Behind them, plates of bread and fruit sat untouched. The middle judge blinked. Excuse me? Food, Sky said, her voice cracking. If I sing well, will you give me a plate of food? The woman judge covered her mouth. The man on the left leaned back in his chair, uncomfortable. The middle judge cleared his throat. This is a talent competition, not a... Please, Sky interrupted. Her hands shook on the guitar. I just need 1 plate. The audience shifted. Someone coughed. A woman in the 3rd row started crying. The middle judge glanced at his colleagues. Then at the bread on the table. Fine, he said quietly. Sing. Sky positioned her fingers on the broken strings. She closed her eyes. And she sang. The first note silenced every breath in the room. Her voice wasn't polished. It was raw. Aching. Real. She sang about empty plates and cold nights. About hunger that never sleeps. About praying for mercy and getting silence instead. The woman judge's mascara ran. The man on the left gripped the table. The middle judge stopped breathing. In the audience, people wept openly. When the last note faded, no one moved. 3 seconds of absolute silence. Then the auditorium erupted. Standing ovation. Screaming. Crying. The middle judge stood and pushed the entire plate of bread toward the edge of the table. Take it, he said, his voice shaking. Take all of it. Sky stumbled forward. She grabbed the plate with trembling hands and held it against her chest like it might disappear. Thank you, she whispered. But before she could leave the stage, someone in the back of the auditorium raised a phone. A man in a black jacket. Red recording light blinking. He zoomed in on her face. On her tears. On the bread she clutched like salvation. He smiled. Not because her voice moved him. Because he saw money. Before we dive into this story, tell us where in the world you're watching from and what time it is right now. Someone near you might be watching too. And don't forget to subscribe to support and appreciate the work we do on this channel. He uploaded the video before she even left the building. Starving girl begs for food at talent show then sings like an angel. 1 hour later, 10,000 views. By midnight, 1 million. Comments flooded in. This broke me. Someone help her. She's better than anyone on the radio. Sky had no idea. She was home, breaking bread into pieces for someone waiting in the dark. The man who filmed her made 3 phone calls. I found her. She's desperate. She's perfect. His friends laughed. Desperate is easy to control. Morning came. A black SUV pulled up outside the community center where the talent show was held. 3 men stepped out. Expensive shoes. Designer cologne. Smiles that didn't reach their eyes. They asked around. Someone pointed them to the east side. By noon, they found her walking down the street with her guitar. You're famous, the tall one said, holding up his phone. 3 million views. Sky froze. That's me? That's you. And we're here to change your life. The man grinned. No more begging. No more talent shows. You'll record in studios. Eat 3 meals a day. Sleep in a real bed. Come with us right now. Sky stepped back. I can't. Why not? My father, she said quickly. He's sick. I can't leave him alone. The three men exchanged glances. The tall one's smile widened. Then we'll help him too. What? Your father. We'll take care of him. Medicine. Doctors. Hospital bills. Everything. But first, you come with us. We get you cleaned up. Record a few songs. Once the money starts flowing, we'll handle your father's treatment. Best care money can buy. Sky's hands trembled. You can do that? We can do anything, the man said smoothly. But we need to move fast. The internet forgets quickly. Come now, and we'll save both of you. She looked at the phone screen. At herself crying on stage. At millions of strangers watching her pain. You promise, she whispered. The man placed his hand on her shoulder. Firm. Fatherly. Fake. I promise. She got into the SUV. The door shut with a heavy click. As they drove away, the driver glanced at his partner and muttered, "Sick father." Perfect. That's leverage. The tall one grinned. Keep her desperate. Desperate people don't ask questions. They both laughed. In the back seat, Sky stared out the window, hope flooding her chest for the first time in months. She didn't hear them. She didn't see the cage closing around her. All she knew was that someone finally promised to save her father. The trap had snapped shut. And she was smiling. The SUV smelled like leather and cologne. Sky sat in the back, hands folded in her lap. She'd never been inside a car this nice. The seats were soft. The air was cold. The tall man turned around from the front seat. Hungry? She nodded. He handed her a breakfast sandwich wrapped in foil. Egg. Cheese. Sausage. Her hands shook as she unwrapped it. The first bite made her eyes water. Warm food. Real food. Slow down, the driver said, watching her in the mirror. Don't make yourself sick. She forced herself to chew slower. But each bite tasted like hope. I'm Marcus, the tall man said. That's Leo driving. The quiet one next to you is Danny. Danny didn't look up from his phone. He was scrolling through her video. The view count kept climbing. 4 million now, Danny muttered. Sky's stomach twisted. That many people saw me? And they love you, Marcus said. But love fades fast online. We need to record today. Release tomorrow. Strike while the fire's hot. The SUV turned down a narrow street and stopped in front of a gray building. No windows on the ground floor. Just concrete and a black door. This is it, Leo said. Sky looked up. The studio? Home away from home, Marcus said, opening her door. She stepped out. The street was empty. Silent. Danny led her inside. The hallway was dim. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. It smelled like paint and mildew. They passed 3 locked doors before stopping at the 4th. Marcus pushed it open. Inside was a small room. Soundproof foam covered every wall. A microphone stood in the center under a single light. Thick glass separated the room from a control booth filled with blinking equipment. This is where you become a star, Marcus said. Sky stepped inside. The door clicked shut behind her. She turned. Marcus was on the other side of the glass now, sitting at the controls. Leo stood beside him. Danny leaned against the wall, still on his phone. Marcus pressed a button. His voice came through a speaker. Put on the headphones. She did. Now sing. That same song from the talent show. She gripped the microphone. I don't remember all the words. Doesn't matter. Just feel it like yesterday. She closed her eyes. The hunger came back. The stage lights. The judges staring. Her father waiting at home, coughing into his hands. She sang until her throat burned. When she finished, Marcus clapped slowly through the speaker. Beautiful. Do it again. Again? 3 more takes. Standard process. She sang again. And again. And again. By the 4th time, her legs shook. Sweat dripped down her back. Marcus pressed the button. Good. Take 5. Danny opened the door and handed her a bottle of water and a granola bar. Lunch, he said flatly. She stared at the granola bar. This is lunch? You ate an hour ago, Marcus called from the booth. Don't get greedy. That word again. Greedy. She ate the granola bar in silence. Leo walked in holding papers. 3 pages stapled together. Tiny print everywhere. Sign here, he said, pointing to a line at the bottom. What is it? Management contract. We handle your money, bookings, everything. You just sing. But my father. Already handled, Marcus interrupted smoothly. Sign now, and we'll have medicine delivered to him tonight. She didn't read it. The words were too big. The letters blurred. She signed. Leo smiled and took the papers. Welcome to the family. They recorded for 3 more hours. Different songs. Different emotions. Her voice cracked twice. They called it authentic and kept recording. When the session finally ended, Sky could barely stand. Can I go home now? She asked. Marcus checked his watch. It's late. We have an apartment upstairs. You'll stay there tonight. Safer that way. But my father. We sent someone to check on him 2 hours ago, Marcus lied without blinking. He's fine. 8. Took his medicine. Sleeping peacefully. Relief washed over her. Really? Really? Come on. You need rest. Big day tomorrow. They led her upstairs to a small room. A bed. A lamp. A window that didn't open. Bathrooms down the hall, Danny said. We'll wake you at 6. The door closed. She heard a lock click from the outside. Sky froze. She walked to the door and tried the handle. Locked. She pressed her ear against it. Voices in the hallway. Muffled. Laughing. She signed everything. Every page. How long before she realizes we're not paying her father's bills? Who cares? By then we'll have 10 tracks recorded. She's locked in for 3 years. More laughter. Footsteps fading. Sky backed away from the door, heart pounding. She ran to the window. It was sealed shut. Painted over. She pulled out her pockets. No phone. No money. Nothing. She looked around the room. Bed. Lamp. 4 walls. No way out. Her breathing quickened. She sat on the bed and stared at the locked door. For the first time since getting in the SUV, the truth crashed into her like a wave. They never sent anyone to her father. They weren't going to help him. And she had no idea where she was. Sky didn't sleep. She sat on the bed staring at the locked door until sunrise bled through the painted window. At 6 sharp, the lock clicked. Danny stood in the doorway holding a paper bag. Breakfast. Eat fast. Studio in 20 minutes. He dropped the bag and left. The door stayed open this time. Inside was a cold bagel and an apple. She ate the apple. Her stomach was too tight for anything else. When she stepped into the hallway, Marcus was waiting. Suit pressed. Smile fake. Sleep well? Why was my door locked? She asked. Safety precaution. This neighborhood isn't safe at night. He gestured toward the stairs. Come on. We're burning daylight. She didn't move. Did someone really go to my father? Marcus's smile tightened. Of course. I told you yesterday. I want to call him. Your phone's being set up. Brand deal. New iPhone. Should be ready by tonight. He checked his watch. Now let's go. We have investors coming at noon. They want to hear you live. Investors? People with money. They'll fund your album. Pay for studio time. Marketing. Your father's treatment. He placed a hand on her shoulder. But only if you impress them. So let's not waste time. She followed him downstairs. The recording booth felt smaller today. Tighter. Marcus handed her a sheet of lyrics. New song. Memorize it in 10 minutes. She scanned the page. The words were about rising from nothing. About dreams coming true. About gratitude. None of it felt true. I don't connect with this, she said quietly. Marcus leaned forward. You don't have to connect. You just have to sell it. That's the job. But my voice sounds better when I feel. Your voice sounds better when you do what we tell you, Leo cut in from the booth. Now sing. She sang. But it came out hollow. Empty. Marcus stopped the track. Again. With emotion this time. She tried. Failed. Again. Her throat tightened. Tears burned behind her eyes. Stop crying and sing, Danny snapped through the speaker. Something inside her cracked. She sang through the tears. The emotion wasn't fake anymore. It was rage. Fear. Desperation. Marcus grinned. There it is. That's the sound. Keep that energy. They recorded it 5 times. Each take pulled something from her she didn't know she had. When they finished, she could barely stand. At noon, 3 men in expensive suits arrived. They sat in the control booth sipping coffee while Sky performed behind the glass like an animal in a cage. She sang 4 songs. They nodded. Whispered to each other. Smiled. When she finished, one of them stood and clapped slowly. She's marketable, he said. How much are you paying her? Marcus laughed. Food and shelter. That's the contract. The investor raised an eyebrow. For how long? 3 years exclusive. All 3 men laughed. Sky stood behind the glass, watching them celebrate. Watching them shake hands. They were selling her. And she had already signed the papers. That night, they brought her a tray. Rice. A piece of chicken. Cold green beans. She ate alone in the locked room. No phone appeared. No call to her father. She banged on the door until her fists hurt. Let me call my father. You promised. Footsteps approached. The door cracked open. Leo stood there, irritated. Stop yelling. I need to know if he's okay. He's fine. Now shut up before you lose your voice. We record again tomorrow. The door slammed shut. The lock clicked. She pressed her back against the wall and slid down to the floor. Her father didn't know where she was. He was home alone, sick, waiting for her. She had no way to reach him. No way to leave. No way to fight back. She was trapped. Days blurred together. Wake up. Sing. Eat scraps. Sleep. Repeat. They recorded 12 songs in 6 days. Her video hit 10 million views. Comments poured in. Where is she now? Someone find her. She deserves the world. But Sky never saw any of it. On the 7th day, Marcus brought someone new into the studio. A woman with sharp eyes and a leather briefcase. This is Monica, Marcus said. Lawyer. She's here to discuss your contract. Sky's heart jumped. You're letting me out? Monica smiled coldly. No. I'm here to make sure you understand you can't leave. She opened the briefcase and pulled out the contract Sky had signed. You agreed to 3 years exclusive management. Any attempt to break the contract results in a penalty of $500,000. Monica tapped the page. You also agreed that all recordings made under this contract belong to us. Forever. Sky's hands shook. I didn't know what I was signing. Doesn't matter. It's legal. You're bound. Monica closed the briefcase. So I suggest you keep singing. Because if you stop, we sue you. And your father. The words hit like a fist. My father? You listed him as your emergency contact. Which makes him financially responsible if you breach. Monica stood. So everyone wins if you just cooperate. She left. Sky stood frozen, staring at the contract on the table. They didn't just trap her. They trapped her father too. Wait, did they really just trap her father too? If you're as shocked as I am, smash that subscribe button because this story gets even crazier. Drop a comment telling me if you would have signed that contract. That night, she didn't eat. She sat on the floor, knees pulled to her chest, staring at the locked door. Somewhere in the city, her father was waiting. Believing she'd found success. Believing she'd come home soon with medicine and hope. He had no idea his daughter was a prisoner. And she had no way to warn him. The next morning, Danny opened the door and froze. Sky was standing by the window. She'd used a fork to scrape away part of the paint. Through the glass, she could see the street below. People walking. Cars passing. Freedom. Danny grabbed her arm and yanked her back. What do you think you're doing? She didn't answer. He dragged her to Marcus. Marcus stared at the window. Then at Sky. You trying to run? She met his eyes. I want to see my father. Not until the album's done. Then let me call him. Marcus stepped closer. His smile was gone. You don't make demands here. You sing. That's it. I need to know he's alive. Marcus pulled out his phone. Scrolled. Turned the screen toward her. It was a photo. Her father. Outside their apartment. Thin. Weak. But alive. Taken this morning, Marcus said. He's fine. And he'll stay fine as long as you cooperate. Sky's breath caught. You're watching him? Marcus's smile returned. Cold. Vicious. We're protecting our investment. Sky stared at the photo on Marcus's phone. Her father. Standing outside their apartment. So thin his shirt hung off his shoulders. You're watching him, she whispered. Marcus pocketed his phone. We're making sure he's taken care of. Just like we promised. That's not what this is. No? Marcus tilted his head. Then what is it? She didn't answer. Because they both knew. It was a threat. Marcus turned to Danny. Board up that window. And check the room for anything else she can use. Danny nodded and left. Marcus looked back at Sky. Studio. Now. She followed him downstairs on shaking legs. They recorded for 8 hours straight. Her voice cracked twice. They didn't care. Fix it in post, Leo said through the speaker. When they finally released her, she stumbled back to the room. Danny had nailed a wooden board over the window. The fork was gone. Even the lamp cord had been shortened. A tray of food sat on the bed. Rice. Carrots. A piece of bread. She ate because her body demanded it. Not because she wanted to. That night, she lay awake staring at the ceiling. Her father thought she was living her dream. Making money. Getting famous. He had no idea men were watching him. Following him. Taking photos. She pressed her palms against her eyes until colors bloomed in the darkness. 2 weeks passed. The album was almost finished. 14 tracks. All recorded in that suffocating booth. Marcus brought investors every few days. They watched her perform through the glass like she was an exhibit. One morning, Marcus came in holding a magazine. He dropped it on the table in front of her. "You're famous," he said. The cover showed her face. The photo from the talent show. Tears streaming. Holding bread. The headline read, "Where is she now?" The viral singer who vanished. Sky's heart stopped. People are looking for me. Looking. Asking questions. Posting theories. Marcus leaned back against the wall. Some think you're dead. Some think you got rich and abandoned your fans. It's all very dramatic. Let me tell them I'm okay. You will. When the album drops. We'll do a big reveal. Press tour. Interviews. You'll tell everyone how we saved you. He smiled. You'll thank us on camera. I'll never thank you. Marcus's smile faded. You will. Because if you don't, we release a different story. One where you abandoned your dying father for fame. We have footage. Contracts. Proof you chose this. She felt sick. That's not true. Doesn't matter. People believe what they see. He tapped the magazine. Right now you're a victim. A mystery. But we can change that narrative in a heartbeat. He left. Sky picked up the magazine with trembling hands. Inside were articles. Theories. Fan posts begging for information. One comment stood out. I hope she's safe. I hope someone's protecting her. She wanted to scream. 3 days later, Marcus came back with news. Your father collapsed yesterday. Sky shot to her feet. What? Neighbor found him. Called an ambulance. He's at County General now. Her vision blurred. Is he alive? For now. Marcus crossed his arms. But hospitals cost money. And since you're under contract with us, any bills go through our accounting department. Then pay it. You said you'd help him. We will. Once the album's done. Marcus checked his watch. 3 more tracks. Should take 2 days. Finish strong, and we'll cover everything. 2 days. He could die in 2 days. Then I suggest you sing faster. He walked out. Sky collapsed against the wall, gasping for air. Her father was dying in a hospital. Alone. Wondering where she was. And she was locked in a room singing songs that meant nothing. She wanted to break something. Scream. Fight. But she couldn't. Because they had all the power. That night, she didn't eat. Didn't sleep. She sat on the floor humming the song her father used to sing when she was little. A lullaby about birds and open skies. The lock clicked. Danny stepped in holding a phone. 5 minutes, he said. Make it count. Sky scrambled to her feet. What? Marcus said you can call the hospital. 5 minutes. Then I take the phone back. He handed it to her and stepped into the hall. Her hands shook as she dialed the number written on a slip of paper Danny had given her. It rang twice. County General. I need to talk to a patient. His name is. Hold please. Silence. Clicks. Muffled voices. Then a weak, familiar voice. Hello? Sky's knees buckled. Daddy? Sky. His voice cracked. Baby, where are you? Tears poured down her face. I'm okay. I'm working. I'm trying to get money for you. Working where? You just disappeared. I thought. He broke into a cough. Wet. Painful. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I'm getting help. They promised to pay for your treatment. Who promised? She hesitated. The people I'm working with. They're producers. They're helping me record music. Are you safe? The question broke her. Yes, she lied. You don't sound safe. I am. I promise. Just hold on, okay? 2 more days and I'll have the money for your surgery. Sky, I don't care about surgery. I care about you. Come home. I can't. Not yet. Why not? Because I signed a contract. Because they're watching you. Because if I run, they'll destroy us both. Because I need to finish this first. Please, Daddy. Trust me. Silence. Then his voice, barely a whisper. I love you. I love you too. The line went dead. Danny stepped back in and took the phone. Time's up. Sky stood there, tears streaming, hands empty. Danny paused at the door. For what it's worth, Marcus lied. We're not paying for the surgery. Her blood turned to ice. What? We're not paying. We never were. He shrugged. Just thought you should know. He closed the door. The lock clicked. Sky dropped to her knees, gasping for air. They lied. They'd been lying the whole time. Her father was dying. And she had just told him to hold on for 2 more days. 2 days that wouldn't save him. She pressed her forehead against the cold floor and screamed into the silence. Sky didn't move from the floor. She lay there until morning light crept under the door. When Danny came with breakfast, she didn't touch it. Eat, he said. She stared at the wall. Marcus said if you don't eat, you don't record. If you don't record, your father stays in that hospital bed with no one paying his bills. She ate. The food tasted like ash. In the studio, her voice came out flat. Dead. Marcus stopped the track. What's wrong with you? She didn't answer. Sing it again. With feeling. She sang. Same flatness. Same emptiness. Leo slammed his hand on the desk. We have a release date. You're killing the schedule. Marcus stood and walked into the booth. He grabbed her by the shoulders. Listen to me. Your father is alive right now because we allow it. You want him to stay that way? Then sing like your life depends on it. You're not paying for his treatment. Marcus froze. What? Danny told me. You're not paying. You never were. Marcus turned slowly toward the control room. Danny looked down at his phone. Marcus's jaw tightened. Then he smiled. Danny's an idiot. Of course we're paying. But not until you finish. That was always the deal. You're lying. am I? Marcus pulled out his phone. Showed her a bank transfer screenshot. $50,000. Recipient, County General Hospital. Her breath caught. Pending, Marcus said. Ready to send the moment you finish the last 3 tracks. So what's it going to be? She stared at the screenshot. It looked real. But so did everything else they'd shown her. Sing, Marcus said quietly. Or watch him die knowing you could have saved him. She sang. This time, the emotion was real. Rage. Grief. Desperation. Marcus grinned. There it is. They recorded until midnight. When she stumbled back to her room, a different tray was waiting. Not scraps this time. A full meal. Chicken. Mashed potatoes. Vegetables. Even a piece of cake. She stared at it, confused. The door opened. Marcus leaned against the frame. Celebration, he said. Album's almost done. Thought you deserved a real meal. Why now? Because you earned it. He nodded at the tray. Eat. Tomorrow we finish. Then we release you and your father gets his surgery. He left. Sky looked at the food. It smelled incredible. She ate slowly. Every bite felt like a bribe. The next morning, Danny brought her clean clothes. A new shirt. Jeans that actually fit. Press photos today, he said. After the final session. Press photos? For the album announcement. Marcus wants you looking healthy. Happy. She put on the clothes. In the studio, investors filled the control room. 7 of them. Suits and ties. Champagne glasses. Marcus spoke into the microphone. Gentlemen, you're about to hear the final track. The one that'll make us all very rich. They laughed. Sky stood behind the glass, watching them toast. This girl, one investor said, loud enough for her to hear, is the cheapest investment I've ever made. More laughter. Another added, 3 years exclusive for food and a hospital bill? That's robbery. They clinked glasses. Marcus turned to Sky. Ready? She wasn't. But she nodded. She sang the last song. A ballad about hope and new beginnings. Every word felt like a lie. When she finished, the investors erupted in applause. Marcus stood and shook their hands. Album drops in 2 weeks. Pre-orders start tomorrow. One investor raised his glass toward Sky through the window. To the girl who saved our quarterly earnings. They all laughed and drank. Sky stood there, watching them celebrate her prison. That night, they brought her another feast. Steak. Salad. Bread. Dessert. Marcus sat across from her in the control room, eating his own meal. See, he said. We take care of you. She cut into the steak. When can I see my father? Soon. We're processing the hospital payment. Should clear in 48 hours. You said that 3 days ago. Marcus sighed. Banking takes time. Be patient. He doesn't have time. Then it's a good thing we're handling it. Marcus finished his drink. Tomorrow we do press. You'll smile. Say how grateful you are. Talk about your dreams coming true. And if I don't? Marcus set down his glass. Then the transfer gets cancelled. Your father dies. And we release a statement saying you abandoned him for fame. Your choice. He left. Sky stared at the steak on her plate. She'd sold her voice. Her freedom. Her truth. And she still didn't know if her father would survive. The next morning, they brought her makeup. Did her hair. Put her in a dress. A photographer set up lights in the studio. Smile, Marcus said. She smiled. Click. Look hopeful. She did. Click. Now hold this. He handed her a microphone. Look like you're about to sing. She posed. Click. 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 When it was over, Marcus showed her the photos on a laptop. She barely recognized herself. Clean. Polished. Happy. A lie in high definition. Perfect, Marcus said. These go live tomorrow with the album announcement. That night, Sky lay in bed staring at the boarded window. 2 weeks had passed since she got in that SUV. 2 weeks since she'd seen her father. 2 weeks of promises that never came true. She closed her eyes and tried to remember his voice from the phone call. Are you safe? No, Daddy. I'm not. The lock clicked. She sat up. Danny stepped in, face pale. Get up, he said. Why? Hospital called. Your father's asking for you. Her heart stopped. Is he okay? Danny didn't answer. Is he okay? Marcus is deciding whether to let you go see him. Deciding? She stood. He's my father. And you're our asset. Danny stepped aside. Marcus wants to talk to you first. She ran past him, down the hall, into the control room. Marcus sat at the desk, phone to his ear. I understand, he said calmly. Yes. We'll handle it. He hung up. Sky's voice shook. I need to see him. Marcus turned slowly. He's dying. The room tilted. The doctors say he has maybe 12 hours. Maybe less. Her knees buckled. Danny caught her. Let me go, she whispered. Please. Marcus stood. Walked over. Looked her in the eye. If you go, you don't come back. You break contract. We sue. You lose everything. He dies in debt. I don't care. You should. Marcus crossed his arms. Or, you stay. Finish the press tour. We pay the bills. And you get to say goodbye at his funeral with a clear conscience. She stared at him, shaking. Choose, Marcus said. Choose, Marcus said. Sky's hands trembled. You can't make me choose between seeing my father and... I just did. Marcus checked his watch. Tick-tock. She looked at Danny. He wouldn't meet her eyes. Leo stood in the corner, arms crossed, waiting. If I stay, she whispered, you'll pay everything? All his bills? Every cent, Marcus said smoothly. He'll have the best care. Comfortable. Pain-free. And when it's over, you'll bury him with dignity. No debt. No collectors. Clean. But I won't see him alive. Correct. Her vision blurred. What kind of person are you? Marcus smiled. A businessman. She wanted to run. Crash through the door. Steal a car. Race to the hospital. But the contract was real. The lawsuit was real. If she ran, they'd bury her father in legal fees and debt. I'll stay, she choked out. Marcus nodded. Smart choice. But I want proof. Show me the transfer. Show me you paid. Marcus pulled out his phone. Tapped the screen. Turned it toward her. Bank transfer. $60,000. County General Hospital. Status, complete. Timestamp, 2 hours ago. Satisfied? Marcus asked. She stared at the screen. You already paid? I told you we'd take care of it. He pocketed the phone. Now get some rest. Press conference is at 9 tomorrow. He left. Leo followed. Danny lingered at the door. I'm sorry, he muttered. Then he was gone too. Sky collapsed into the chair. Her father was dying. And she wasn't there. But at least he wouldn't die in pain. At least the bills were covered. She clung to that like a lifeline. The next morning, they dressed her in black. Did her makeup. Handed her a script. Memorize this, Marcus said. She read it. Lies about gratitude. About second chances. About dreams. I can't say this. You will. Or the payment gets reversed. She memorized it. The press conference was in a hotel ballroom. Cameras everywhere. Journalists in rows. Microphones clustered on the podium. Marcus stood beside her, hand on her shoulder like a proud parent. Ladies and gentlemen, he began, 3 weeks ago, the world fell in love with a voice. Today, I'm proud to introduce you to the girl behind it. Sky. Applause. She stepped to the microphone. Flashes exploded. Thank you, she said, voice hollow. I'm grateful for this opportunity. These people saved my life. Gave me a future. I owe them everything. The words tasted like poison. Questions flew. Where have you been? Working on my album, she lied. Are you happy? Very. What about your father? Is he proud? Her breath caught. Marcus squeezed her shoulder. A warning. He's very proud, she whispered. More applause. After, Marcus pulled her aside. Perfect. See? Easy. Her phone buzzed in his pocket. He answered. His face went pale. When? A pause. I see. Thank you. He hung up. Sky's stomach dropped. What? Marcus looked at her. Something flickered in his eyes. Almost human. Your father passed an hour ago. The room spun. No. You said you paid. You said he'd be comfortable. You showed me the transfer. We did pay. But money doesn't stop cancer, Sky. It just makes dying easier. She couldn't breathe. He's gone, she whispered. Marcus nodded. She staggered back. I should have been there. I should have said goodbye. You made a choice. You made me choose. And you chose your career. Live with it. He turned to leave, then paused. Funerals in 3 days. We'll arrange everything. You'll attend. Say a few words. Press will be there. Press? It's good optics. Tragic but inspiring. Fans will love it. He walked away. Sky stood alone in the empty ballroom, surrounded by cameras and microphones and lies. Her father was dead. I know you're feeling what I'm feeling right now. This is heartbreaking. If you're still watching, you're invested in Sky's story. Hit subscribe so you don't miss how she fights back. Comment below, do you think she made the right choice? And she'd spent his last hours smiling for photographs. That night, back in the locked room, she found a folded piece of paper slipped under the door. She opened it. One sentence in handwriting she didn't recognize. The transfer was fake. Marcus never paid the hospital. Her hands went numb. She flipped the paper over. Nothing else. She ran to the door and pounded. Danny. Marcus. Someone. No answer. She stared at the note. If the transfer was fake, then her father died in pain. In debt. Alone. And she stayed here for nothing. The door unlocked. Leo stepped in. Stop screaming. She shoved the note at him. Is this true? Did Marcus fake the transfer? Leo glanced at it. Then at her. His silence was answer enough. Why? She whispered. Because you wouldn't have stayed if you knew the truth. He took the note and ripped it up. And we needed you to stay. He left. The lock clicked. Sky stood frozen, pieces of torn paper scattered at her feet. They lied about everything. The payment. The hospital. The care. Her father died suffering. And she let it happen because she believed them. She dropped to her knees, gasping. Then she heard it. Footsteps in the hall. Multiple. Fast. Voices arguing. Marcus shouting, "Find out who wrote that note. Now." A door slammed. Silence. Someone inside this building was helping her. Someone knew the truth. And they were in danger. Sky didn't sleep. She sat on the floor holding the torn pieces of paper, trying to fit them back together. Someone in this building knew the truth. Someone was risking everything to tell her. At dawn, Danny brought breakfast. Cold oatmeal. Eat fast. Recording in 10. But when she got to the studio, Marcus wasn't there. Leo sat at the controls alone. Change of plans. Marcus is handling funeral arrangements. You're recording solo vocals today. She stepped into the booth. For 4 hours, she sang the same hooks over and over. Her voice was raw. Empty. Leo barely looked up. When lunch came, Danny handed her a sandwich and left the door cracked. He'd never done that before. Sky stared at the open door. Listened. Silence in the hallway. She stood slowly. Walked to the doorway. Peeked out. Empty. Her heart pounded. This was a test. It had to be. But what if it wasn't? She stepped into the hall. 1 step. 2. No alarms. No shouting. She moved toward the stairs. At the bottom, a door led outside. Emergency exit. No alarm sign. Her hands shook as she pushed it open. Cold air hit her face. She was outside. The alley behind the building was narrow. Dumpsters. Graffiti. Broken glass. Freedom. She ran. Her bare feet slapped against concrete. She didn't care. She ran until her lungs burned. She turned a corner and crashed into someone. A man. Older. Gray beard. Worn jacket. He steadied her. Whoa. You okay? She couldn't speak. Just gasped for air. He looked her up and down. Took in her appearance. The studio clothes. The fear in her eyes. You're her, he said quietly. The girl from the video. She stepped back. I'm not going to hurt you. He raised his hands. I'm Jonas. Jonas Reed. The name meant nothing to her. You've been missing for 3 weeks, he said. People are looking for you. Where have you been? I can't, her voice cracked. I need to go. Go where? You running from someone? She looked back at the alley. At the door she'd come through. They'd notice she was gone any second. I have to go back, she whispered. Back where? The studio. If I don't, they'll, she stopped. Realized she was saying too much. Jonas's expression darkened. They'll what? She shook her head and turned to leave. Wait. He pulled a card from his pocket. Handed it to her. If you need help. Real help. Call me. She stared at the card. Jonas Reed. Music producer. A phone number. I can't. Keep it anyway. She shoved it in her pocket and ran back toward the building. Behind her, Jonas called out, "Your song was beautiful. Don't let them take that from you." She burst through the emergency door. Ran up the stairs. Down the hall. Into the studio. Danny stood there, arms crossed. Her heart stopped. "Where were you?" he asked. "Bathroom." He stared at her. At her heaving chest. Her dirty feet. "Bathrooms on this floor." She said nothing. Danny stepped closer. "Did you go outside?" "No." "You're lying." "I'm not." He grabbed her arm. "If Marcus finds out." "Finds out what?" They both froze. Marcus stood in the doorway. Face cold. Eyes sharp. He looked at Sky. At Danny. At the open emergency door downstairs visible through the security monitor. "She ran," Marcus said quietly. Danny let go of her arm. Marcus walked toward her slowly. "Where did you go?" "Just outside. For air." "Did you talk to anyone?" "No." "You're lying." He pulled out his phone. Showed her security footage. Her. Running down the alley. Crashing into Jonas. Taking the card. Her blood turned to ice. Marcus held out his hand. "Give me the card." She didn't move. "Now." She pulled it from her pocket with shaking hands. Marcus took it. "Read it." Smiled. Jonas Reed. He looked at her. "You just made a very dangerous friend." He turned to Danny. "Find out everything about this man. Where he lives. Where he works. Who he loves." Danny nodded and left. Marcus stepped closer to Sky. "You're not a prisoner," he said softly. "But if you run again, I'll make sure Jonas Reed regrets ever meeting you." He walked out. The door locked behind him. Sky stood frozen. She'd found someone who could help. And now she'd put his life in danger. Sky spent the night staring at the ceiling. Jonas Reed's face haunted her thoughts. The concern in his eyes. The card she'd handed over. She'd put him in danger for 30 seconds of hope. Morning came. No breakfast. No Danny. Just silence. At noon, the lock clicked. Marcus stood in the doorway holding a laptop. "Come," he said. She followed him to the control room. Leo was already there, grinning. Marcus set the laptop on the desk and turned it toward her. On the screen, a live feed. A small recording studio. Equipment everywhere. A man working at a mixing board. Jonas Reed. Her breath caught. "What is this?" "Insurance," Marcus said. "In case you get any more ideas about running." She watched Jonas adjust levels, completely unaware he was being watched. "We know where he lives. Where he works. Who his daughter visits on Tuesdays." Marcus closed the laptop. "So here's how this works. You cooperate, he stays safe. You run, we destroy him. He didn't do anything. He gave you hope. That's enough." Marcus left the laptop on the desk. The feed's still playing. "Now record," he said. 3 tracks today." She couldn't focus. Her voice cracked. Her timing was off. Leo stopped the track. "What's wrong with you?" She stared at the laptop screen. At Jonas working peacefully. "Nothing," she whispered. They recorded until evening. Every take was agony. When they finally released her, Danny brought dinner. Real food this time. Chicken. Rice. Vegetables. Why? She asked. Danny set down the tray. Funeral's tomorrow. Marcus wants you looking healthy. Healthy. She laughed bitterly. So people don't ask questions. Danny hesitated at the door. For what it's worth, I didn't write that note. She looked up. Then who did? He left without answering. She ate slowly, mind racing. Someone here was on her side. Someone with access. Someone brave enough to risk Marcus's anger. But who? That night, another note appeared under her door. She grabbed it with shaking hands. Jonas is looking for you. He filed a missing person report. Marcus doesn't know yet. Don't tell anyone about this note. Trust no one. Her heart pounded. Jonas was fighting for her. A stranger who'd met her for 30 seconds was trying to save her. She pressed the note against her chest. Hope flickered. Dangerous. Painful. Real. The next morning, they dressed her in black. Did her makeup. Made her look like grief instead of a prisoner. The funeral was small. A chapel Marcus rented. Photographers outside. Journalists with cameras. Her father's casket sat at the front. Closed. She walked toward it on numb legs. Marcus whispered, 5 minutes. Then we go. She placed her hand on the wood. Cold. Final. I'm sorry, Daddy, she whispered. I'm so sorry. Behind her, cameras clicked. After, Marcus led her to a waiting car. Press wants a statement. No. It wasn't a question. Outside, microphones surrounded her. Questions flew. How are you coping? What would your father think of your success? Do you have any regrets? That last one broke her. She looked directly at the camera. Yes. Marcus tensed beside her. I regret trusting people who promised to help him. Her voice shook. I regret believing lies. I regret not being there when he needed me most. Marcus grabbed her arm. That's enough. But she kept talking. If anyone's watching this and knows where Jonas Reed is, tell him I'm. Marcus yanked her toward the car. Cameras exploded with flashes. Inside the car, Marcus's face was red with rage. What did you just do? I told the truth. You just made yourself unsellable. He slammed his hand against the seat. Do you have any idea what you've done? She smiled through tears. I gave Jonas a message. Marcus pulled out his phone. Dialed. Change of plans. We're moving her. Tonight. Her smile faded. Moving me where? He didn't answer. The car sped through the city. Away from the chapel. Away from the cameras. Toward something worse. They pulled up to a different building. Taller. No windows at all. Danny was already there, holding a duffel bag. Marcus grabbed her arm. Get out. She resisted. Where are we? Somewhere Jonas Reed will never find you. The new building had no street signs. No address visible. Marcus dragged her inside. The hallway was colder here. Darker. They went down instead of up. Basement level. A metal door. A keypad. Marcus punched in a code. Inside was a single room. Concrete walls. A cot. A bucket. No windows. No light switch she could reach. You did this to yourself, Marcus said. Mention Jonas Reed again and this becomes permanent. He slammed the door. Darkness swallowed her whole. She felt along the walls. Cold. Damp. No gaps. No weaknesses. She was buried alive. Hours passed. Maybe days. She couldn't tell. When the door finally opened, light burned her eyes. Danny stood there holding a bottle of water. "Drink," he said. She grabbed it with shaking hands. Drank too fast. Choked. "Marcus wants you compliant," Danny said quietly. "So I'm supposed to leave you here until you forget Jonas Reed exists." "I won't forget." "Then you'll die here." He started to leave. "Wait," she gasped. "Was it you? The notes?" Danny paused. Didn't turn around. "If I say yes, Marcus kills me. If I say no, you lose hope." He looked back. "Either way, we're both trapped." The door closed. Darkness again. But this time, she knew something. Danny was breaking. She just had to push harder. 2 days later, or what felt like 2 days, the door opened again. This time, Leo stood there with a phone. "Marcus wants proof you're alive," he said. "Smile." He took her photo. Her hollow eyes. Her matted hair. Her cracked lips. "Perfect," Leo muttered. "Broken looks real. Who's he sending that to?" Leo smirked. "Jonas Reed. With a message, stop looking or this gets worse." Her heart dropped. "You found him?" "We've always known where he is." Leo pocketed the phone. "Marcus just wanted to see if you'd break first." "You did." He left. She collapsed against the wall. Jonas was still out there. Still fighting. And now Marcus was threatening him with her suffering. She had to get out. Not just for herself. For him. That night, or what she thought was night, the door opened without warning. A figure slipped inside. Flashlight low. "Danny. Get up," he whispered urgently. "What?" "Jonas found us. He's outside with police. We have 5 minutes before Marcus runs." Her mind spun. "Police? Your funeral statement went viral. People demanded an investigation. Jonas pushed it through." Danny grabbed her arm. "But Marcus is erasing evidence. If we don't move now, there's no proof you were here." She stood on shaking legs. Danny led her down the hall. Past the locked doors. Toward stairs. Voices echoed above. Shouting. Marcus barking orders. "They're deleting files," Danny whispered. "Destroying contracts. In 10 minutes, you'll just be a runaway who came back." They reached the ground floor. An exit door 20 feet away. Danny handed her a USB drive. "Everything's on here. Contracts. Recordings. Bank records proving they never paid your father. Get this to the police." She took it with trembling hands. "Why are you helping me?" "Because I have a daughter." His voice cracked. "And I'd want someone to save her." Footsteps pounded down the stairs behind them. "Go." Danny shoved her toward the exit. "Run." She ran. Burst through the door into blinding daylight. Police cars everywhere. Officers shouting. News cameras. And standing in the middle of it all, scanning the building desperately. Jonas Reed. Their eyes met. He started toward her. Behind her, the door crashed open. Marcus stood there, face twisted with rage. In his hand, a gun. "If I can't have her," he screamed, "no one can." He raised the weapon. Jonas saw it and ran faster. Everything slowed. Marcus's finger on the trigger. Jonas 10 feet away. Officers drawing weapons. Sky frozen between them all. The gunshot split the air. Who got shot? I can't tell you yet, but if you're not subscribed, you're going to lose your mind when you find out. Hit that button now and comment your prediction. Did Marcus hit Sky or Jonas? Let me know. The gunshot echoed. Sky felt nothing. Then Jonas crashed into her, knocking her down. They hit the pavement together. His weight on top of her. Protecting her. More gunshots. Police returning fire. Screaming. Chaos. Jonas rolled off her. Are you hit? She couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. Behind them, Marcus lay on the ground. Blood pooling. Officers surrounding him. He wasn't moving. Jonas pulled her to her feet. Come on. Away from here. An officer stopped them. She needs medical attention. I'm fine, Sky gasped. You're not fine. The officer radioed for an ambulance. Ma'am, we need your statement. Not here, Jonas said firmly. Somewhere safe. They took her to the police station. Wrapped her in a blanket. Gave her water. A detective sat across from her. Tell me everything. She handed him the USB drive. It's all here. While they reviewed the files, Jonas sat beside her. Silent. Steady. You came for me, she whispered. Of course I did. You don't even know me. Jonas looked at her. I know what it sounds like when someone's trapped. Your voice told me everything. The detective returned. Face grim. This is extensive. Fraud. False imprisonment. Contract manipulation. You're not the first girl they did this to. Sky's stomach turned. What? We found records of 3 others. Different names. Same pattern. He closed his laptop. You're the first one who escaped. She felt sick. 3 others. Trapped. Used. Discarded. What happened to them, she asked. We're investigating. The detective stood. You'll need to testify. But for now, you're free to go. Free. The word felt foreign. Jonas drove her to his studio. Small. Warm. Windows everywhere. You don't have to record, he said quickly. I just thought you'd want somewhere safe to sleep. She looked around. Real instruments. No soundproof prison. No locks. Why are you doing this, she asked. Jonas sat down slowly. 10 years ago, my daughter wanted to be a singer. She met a producer who promised her the world. I didn't trust him, but she was 18. She didn't listen. His voice cracked. 6 months later, she called me from a hospital. Broken ribs. Malnutrition. He'd worked her until she collapsed. He wiped his eyes. She doesn't sing anymore. Can't even listen to music without panic attacks. Sky's throat tightened. I'm sorry. When I saw your video, I saw her. I couldn't save her in time. But maybe I could save you. Silence filled the room. I have nothing, Sky finally said. No home. No money. My father's gone. I don't even know who I am anymore. Jonas stood and walked to a corner. Returned with a guitar. Here, he said, handing it to her. She stared at it. What? Sing. Not for me. Not for anyone else. Just for you. Her hands shook as she took it. She hadn't held a guitar by choice in weeks. She strummed once. The sound was clean. Pure. She closed her eyes. And she sang. Not the songs Marcus forced her to memorize. Not the empty words about gratitude. She sang about her father. About bread they shared on cold nights. About promises that turned to ash. She sang until tears streamed down her face. When she finished, Jonas was silent. Then he said quietly, "That's the sound of truth." He walked to his computer. "Can I record that? Just for you to keep. No contracts. No pressure." She nodded. They recorded Bread and Father in one take. When it was done, Jonas handed her the file. "This is yours. What you do with it is your choice." She stared at the file name on the screen. For the first time in weeks, something belonged to her. That night, Jonas set up a cot in the studio lounge. "Stay as long as you need," he said. "No locks. No rules. Just healing." She lay down exhausted. But at 3 a.m., her phone buzzed. Jonas had given her a prepaid phone earlier. No one had the number. She checked the screen. Unknown number. One message. Sky stared at the text message. "Marcus isn't dead. And he's coming for you." Her hands shook. She ran to Jonas's room and pounded on the door. He opened it, half asleep. "What's wrong?" She showed him the phone. His face went pale. "We need to call the police. What if it's a lie? What if someone's trying to scare me?" Jonas grabbed his own phone and dialed. "Detective Morris? It's Jonas Reed. We have a situation." 20 minutes later, 2 officers arrived at the studio. "Marcus Taylor is in critical condition at County General," one officer said. "Under guard. He's not going anywhere." "Then who sent this?" Sky held up the phone. The officer examined it. "Could be Leo. Or Danny. We're still looking for them." "Danny helped me escape," Sky said. "Or he wanted you to think that." The officer handed back the phone. "We'll trace the number. Meanwhile, stay here. Don't go anywhere alone." They left. Jonas locked every door and window. Sky couldn't sleep. Every sound made her jump. Every shadow looked like Marcus. At dawn, Jonas made coffee. The detective called. They traced the message. Who sent it? A burner phone. Bought with cash. No way to track. Jonas set down his mug. But there's something else. County General called. Your father's hospital bills were never paid. Her chest tightened. I know. The USB proved that. No, you don't understand. The hospital has his belongings. They've been holding them for you. Her breath caught. Belongings? Personal items. They said you can pick them up anytime. Sky stared at the floor. Her father's things. The last pieces of him. I'll take you, Jonas said softly. They drove in silence. At the hospital, a nurse led them to a storage room. She handed Sky a plastic bag. Inside, her father's wallet. His watch. A folded piece of paper. Sky opened the paper with trembling hands. Her father's handwriting. Shaky. Weak. Sky, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I know you think you failed me. You didn't. You sang when the world was silent. You fought when I couldn't. That's all a father could ask. Keep singing. Not for them. For you. I love you. Always. Dad. She collapsed into a chair, sobbing. Jonas knelt beside her. He knew. He knew you were trying. But I wasn't there. I chose wrong. You chose to survive. That's not wrong. She clutched the letter against her chest. A doctor appeared in the doorway. "Miss? Are you Sky?" She nodded, wiping her eyes. "Your father left something else. In his room. We found it after he passed." The doctor held out a small envelope. "He said to give this to you only if you came asking for him." Sky took it. Her name on the front in her father's writing. Inside was a key. No label. No explanation. "What does this open?" she asked. The doctor shook his head. "He didn't say. Just that you'd know when the time was right." Sky turned the key over in her palm. Small. Silver. Old. "I don't understand." Jonas examined it. "Looks like a safety deposit box key." "My father didn't have money for a safety deposit box. Maybe someone helped him get one." The doctor cleared his throat. "There's one more thing. The day before he died, your father had a visitor. A woman. She stayed for an hour. Left him that envelope." "What woman?" "She didn't give a name. But she told the nurse she was a friend helping him protect something important." Sky's mind raced. Her father had no friends with money. No connections. What did she look like? The nurse said she wore sunglasses. Kept her face covered. Drove a black car. Jonas and Sky exchanged glances. "Someone from Marcus's crew," Jonas said. "Or someone trying to help," Sky whispered. She stared at the key. Her father had hidden something. Something important enough that a stranger helped him protect it. But what? And who was the woman? They left the hospital and drove back to the studio in silence. That night, Sky couldn't stop looking at the key. At 2 a.m., her phone buzzed again. Same unknown number. New message. "The key opens the truth. But if you use it, they'll know you're still alive. Choose carefully." She dropped the phone. Someone was watching her. Someone knew about the key. And they were giving her a choice: stay hidden or risk everything for answers. Jonas appeared in the doorway. "Another message?" She showed him. He read it twice. "This is a trap. Or it's the only way to find out what my father died protecting. Sky, you barely escaped. Marcus is still alive. His people are still out there. I know." She held up the key. "But my father gave me this for a reason." Jonas exhaled slowly. "Then we do this smart. Together. With the police." She nodded. But deep down, she knew. Whatever that key opened, the police couldn't protect her from it. Because someone powerful wanted it to stay hidden. And they'd already proven they'd kill to keep their secrets. Morning came too fast. Sky sat at Jonas's kitchen table, the key in front of her. Jonas poured coffee. "We need to figure out what bank. My father never used banks. He kept cash in a coffee can. Then someone opened it for him. The woman." Jonas pulled out his laptop. "Let's start with banks near the hospital." He searched. Found 12 within 2 miles. "This could take days," Sky said. "Then we take days." Jonas looked at her. "Whatever's in that box, it's worth protecting you for." Before she could respond, his phone rang. Detective Morris. Jonas put it on speaker. "Detective? We have a problem," Morris said. "Marcus's lawyer just filed for his release." Sky's stomach dropped. "He's in critical condition." "Not anymore. He's stable. Walking. Talking. And his lawyer's arguing there's no evidence to hold him. The USB drive proves fraud and contract manipulation. But not kidnapping. Marcus claims you came willingly. Signed papers. The locked doors were for safety. Morris sighed. Without physical proof of force, it's your word against his. What about Danny? He witnessed everything. Danny's disappeared. Leo too. Without their testimony, the case falls apart. Jonas slammed his hand on the table. So Marcus walks free? Not free. He's under house arrest pending trial. But yes, he's out of the hospital. The call ended. Sky couldn't breathe. He's going to come for me. Not if we find what's in that box first, Jonas said. Whatever your father hid, it's evidence Marcus wants buried. They drove to the first bank. Nothing. Second bank. Nothing. At the third bank, a clerk recognized the key. Safety deposit boxes are in the vault, she said. I'll need to see ID. Sky handed over her ID. The clerk typed into the computer. Her face changed. Miss, this box was rented 3 weeks ago. Under your name. But you didn't rent it. My father did. For me. The clerk hesitated. The signature on file doesn't match yours. It was forged, Jonas said. By someone helping her father. The clerk looked between them. I should call security. Please, Sky begged. My father died protecting whatever's in there. I need to see it. The clerk stared at her. Then at the key. Finally, she nodded. Follow me. In the vault, she unlocked box 237 and stepped back. Sky opened it with shaking hands. Inside, a flash drive. A thick manila envelope. And a handwritten note. She read the note first. Sky, this flash drive contains the original contracts Marcus used on 4 other girls before you. Unedited. With his real signature. And recordings of him admitting what he did. The woman who helped me is one of his victims. She escaped. She wants justice. Trust her. Use this. Burn him down. Dad. Sky's hands trembled. He knew. My father knew what Marcus was. Jonas took the flash drive. This is it. This is the evidence that puts him away forever. Sky opened the envelope. Inside were legal documents. Contracts. Photos of girls she'd never met. And bank statements showing millions Marcus made off their suffering. We take this to the police right now, Jonas said. Sky nodded. They drove straight to the station. Detective Morris examined everything. His face grew darker with each page. This changes everything, he said. Marcus is done. He made calls. Issued warrants. Set things in motion. We'll arrest him tonight, Morris said. He won't see it coming. Sky exhaled for the first time in hours. Jonas drove her back to the studio. It's over. You're finally safe. She wanted to believe him. But when they pulled up to the studio, the front door was open. Jonas froze. I locked that. They approached slowly. Inside, the studio was destroyed. Equipment smashed. Recordings deleted. Files scattered. And on the wall, spray painted in red. You should have stayed hidden. Jonas pulled out his phone to call the police. A voice spoke from the shadows. Don't bother. They spun around. A woman stepped into the light. Mid-40s. Scar across her cheek. Eyes cold. I'm the one who helped your father, she said to Sky. And I'm here to tell you the truth. What truth? Sky asked. The woman smiled sadly. Marcus didn't work alone. He had a partner. Someone with real power. Jonas stepped forward. Who? Detective Morris. Sky's world tilted. The flash drive you just gave him? The woman's voice cracked. He's destroying it right now. Sky couldn't breathe. Morris is working with Marcus? The woman nodded. For 6 years. He covers up complaints. Buries evidence. Makes victims disappear. Jonas grabbed his phone. We need to call someone higher up. Who? The woman cut him off. Morris has connections everywhere. FBI. DA's office. Media. You give evidence to anyone, and he knows within an hour. Then what do we do? Sky asked. The woman pulled out a laptop. I made copies of everything on that flash drive. Your father knew Morris couldn't be trusted. That's why he had me hide the original in 3 different locations. She opened the laptop and showed them files. Contracts. Recordings. Bank transfers. This is enough to bury them both, she said. But we need to go public. All at once. Too big for Morris to bury. Jonas leaned forward. How? Live broadcast. Every news station simultaneously. Morris can't stop what the whole world sees. Sky's hands shook. He'll come for us before we get the chance. He's already coming. The woman pointed to the spray-painted message. They know you have copies. They're panicking. Jonas paced. Who are you? Why risk this for us? The woman's voice hardened. My name is Claire. Marcus held me for 2 years. Made millions off my voice. When I tried to leave, Morris buried my police report. Labeled me unstable. She rolled up her sleeve, revealing burned scars. This is what Marcus does when you disobey. Sky felt sick. I escaped 3 years ago, Claire continued. Spent every day since gathering evidence. Your father reached out when you went missing. Said his daughter needed protection. I helped him hide the truth before he died. You visited him in the hospital, Sky whispered. Claire nodded. He made me promise to keep you alive long enough to finish this. Jonas checked his watch. If Morris is destroying evidence right now, we have maybe an hour before he realizes we have copies. Then we move now, Claire said. I have a contact at Channel 7. She's been waiting for this story for years. We go there, broadcast live, and release everything. Sky stood. Let's go. They grabbed the laptop and ran to Jonas's car. As they pulled out, headlights flooded the street behind them. A black SUV. They're following us, Jonas said, accelerating. Claire looked back. That's Leo's car. I thought Leo disappeared. He did. Into Morris's pocket. Claire pulled out her phone. Get to the station. I'll handle Leo. How? Jonas asked. Claire didn't answer. She dialed a number. It's me, she said. Leo's on 5th Street. Send the package. She hung up. Sky stared at her. What package? Evidence that Leo murdered one of Marcus's victims 2 years ago. Anonymous tip going to the FBI right now. He'll have bigger problems than chasing us. Behind them, the SUV's lights flickered. Then it turned off into a side street. He got the warning, Claire said. Keep driving. They reached Channel 7 at midnight. Claire led them through a back entrance. A producer met them in the hallway. You're the girl from the funeral, the producer said, staring at Sky. Everyone thinks you disappeared again. I did. And I'm about to tell you why. Sky held up the laptop. But it has to be live. No editing. No delays. The producer looked at Claire. You trust this? With my life, Claire said. Studio B. 5 minutes. They rushed to the studio. Lights came on. Cameras positioned. Sky sat in the chair, heart pounding. The producer counted down. Live in 3, 2. The red light blinked. Good evening, the anchor said. We interrupt regular programming for a breaking exclusive. The missing singer Sky, who vanished after her father's funeral, is here with evidence of a trafficking operation. The studio lights cut out. Emergency lights flickered on. The producer grabbed her headset. What just happened? A voice crackled through. Power's been cut. Generators aren't responding. Jonas pulled Sky to her feet. We need to leave. Now. Claire checked her phone. Face pale. Morris knows we're here. The back door they came through slammed open. Footsteps. Multiple people. A voice echoed through the dark hallway. Marcus's voice. Did you really think I'd let you destroy me on television? This way. Claire grabbed Sky's arm and pulled her toward the emergency exit. Jonas followed, clutching the laptop. Behind them, Marcus's footsteps echoed closer. They burst through the exit into an alley. Rain poured down. Split up, Claire said. He can't chase all of us. No, Sky said. We stay together. She's right, Jonas said. We lose each other, we lose the evidence. Claire nodded. Then we run. They ran through back streets. Through parking lots. Between buildings. Marcus's voice followed them. You can't hide forever. They ducked into a 24-hour diner. Crowded. Loud. Safe for now. They collapsed into a booth in the back. The waitress brought water. Didn't ask questions. Jonas opened the laptop. We need another plan. Another broadcast location. There isn't time, Claire said. Morris will have every station locked down by morning. Sky stared at the laptop screen. At the files that could end this. What if we don't need a station, she said quietly. They both looked at her. Social media. Live stream. Upload everything directly. Jonas's eyes widened. They can't cut the power on the entire internet. Claire pulled out her phone. I have 40,000 followers from my music days. If I go live and share your stream, it'll spread. How long do we need? Sky asked. 10 minutes, Jonas said. Long enough to upload the key files and explain everything. Then we do it here. Right now. Claire created a new account under a random name. Jonas positioned his phone camera. Sky sat across from it, hands shaking. Ready? Jonas asked. She nodded. He hit record. The red light appeared. My name is Sky, she began. 3 weeks ago, I asked for food at a talent show. A man named Marcus Taylor promised to help me and my dying father. Instead, he trapped me. Stole my music. Let my father die. And he's done it to at least 4 other girls. She held up documents to the camera. This is proof. Contracts. Bank records. Recordings of Marcus admitting everything. Claire's phone pinged. Then again. And again. People are watching, she whispered. 200. 500. 1,000. Sky kept talking. Detective Morris helped cover it up. They're both outside this diner right now, trying to stop me from showing you this. Jonas uploaded files in real time. Screenshots of contracts. Audio clips playing. Claire's phone exploded with notifications. 10,000 viewers. 20,000. It's going viral. Sky's voice strengthened. If something happens to me tonight, you'll know why. You'll know who did it. And you'll have the proof to make sure they pay. She looked directly into the camera. My father died believing I abandoned him. I can't bring him back. But I can make sure no other girl gets trapped like I did. The view count hit 100,000. Jonas stopped recording. It's done. Uploaded to 12 different servers. They can't erase it now. Sky exhaled. For the first time in weeks, she felt something close to hope. Claire checked the diner windows. We should move before. The diner door opened. Marcus walked in. Soaking wet. Face twisted with rage. Behind him, Detective Morris in plain clothes. The diner went quiet. Marcus spotted them in the back booth. He smiled. Impressive. But you made one mistake. What mistake? Sky asked. Morris held up his badge. This is still my city. And as far as anyone knows, you three just made terroristic threats against a decorated detective and a respected producer. Marcus pulled out his phone. Showed them a screen. A doctored video. Sky's face. But different words. Threatening violence. Claiming to have weapons. Posted 2 minutes ago from your account, Marcus said. By the time your little video gets fact-checked, you'll be arrested for domestic terrorism. Jonas stood. That's insane. No one will believe. 3 police officers entered the diner. Morris pointed at them. That's her. The girl making threats online. The officers approached, hands on weapons. Claire stood slowly. You won't get away with this. I already have, Marcus said. The lead officer reached for Sky. Ma'am, you need to come with us. Jonas stepped between them. She's telling the truth. Check the files. Listen to the recordings. Step aside, sir, or you'll be arrested too. Sky looked at Jonas. At Claire. At the officers closing in. The diner door opened again. A woman walked in. Mid-60s. Sharp suit. Camera crew behind her. Actually, the woman said, you'll want to hear what I have to say first. Morris froze. Senator Blake? No. Way. The senator? The hero was the villain the whole time? If your jaw just dropped, mine did too. Subscribe right now because this ending is going to break you. Comment, did you trust Senator Blake? I need to know. The woman smiled. Detective Morris. How convenient. I've been looking for you. She turned to the camera crew. Are we live? Yes, ma'am. Senator Blake looked directly into the camera. 3 hours ago, I received evidence of a trafficking ring operating in this city. Protected by a corrupt detective. I'm here to personally ensure these victims get justice. She walked over to Sky. Are you the girl from the live stream? Sky nodded. Then you're under my protection now. Blake turned to the officers. Arrest Detective Morris and Marcus Taylor. Multiple counts. Federal charges. Morris laughed. You can't. I can. And I will. Blake held up a phone. Your doctored video? Already debunked by my tech team. Sky's real video? Viewed by 2 million people in the last hour. You're done. The officers hesitated. Blake's voice hardened. That's an order. They moved toward Morris and Marcus. Marcus lunged toward Sky. If I go down. He never finished. Claire stepped forward and punched him across the face. He dropped. The diner erupted in applause. But as they handcuffed Marcus and Morris, Sky noticed something. Leo. standing outside the diner window, watching. Their eyes met. He mouthed 2 words, "It's not over." Then he disappeared into the rain. Leo vanished into the rain. Sky watched the empty space where he'd stood. He's still out there. Senator Blake turned. Who? Leo. Marcus's partner. He just. Blake spoke into her phone. I need security sweeping the perimeter. Suspect named Leo. White male, early 30s. Consider him dangerous. Within seconds, federal agents flooded the street. Marcus and Morris were dragged away in handcuffs. Camera crews captured everything. Blake approached Sky. You're safe now. I'll make sure of it. How did you find us? Jonas asked. Your live stream hit my office 20 minutes ago. My daughter saw it first. She's 16. Wants to be a singer. Blake's voice softened. She made me watch. Said if I didn't help you, she'd never forgive me. Sky felt tears sting her eyes. Thank her for me. You can thank her yourself. She's waiting to meet you. That night, Blake arranged protection. Federal safe house. Guards outside. Claire stayed with them. Jonas too. For the first time in a month, Sky slept without fear. Morning came with news alerts. Music mogul arrested for trafficking. Detectives' corruption exposed. Viral video sparks federal investigation. Sky's face was everywhere. Blake called. The media wants interviews. Your story's exploding. But only if you're ready. What about the other victims? Sky asked. The 4 girls before me. We're locating them now. With your evidence, they'll finally get justice. Sky hung up. Jonas made breakfast. You did it. You beat them. But Sky couldn't celebrate. Something felt wrong. Leo's still out there, she said. Marcus and Morris are locked up, but Leo knows everything. Where I am. Who helped me. He's the one who destroyed your studio. Claire nodded. She's right. Leo's a survivor. He'll disappear until the heat dies down. Then what? Jonas asked. Then he comes back for revenge. Days passed. The trial dates were set. Sky gave her testimony to federal prosecutors. Marcus and Morris both faced 30 years minimum. But Leo stayed missing. 2 weeks later, Jonas got a call from his distributor. Your studio's recording was leaked, the man said. Jonas froze. What recording? The one you did with Sky. Bread and Father. It's all over the internet. But it's been edited. Sky grabbed the phone. Edited how? Someone added Marcus's name to the credits. Made it look like he produced it. Claims he owns the rights. Her stomach dropped. Jonas pulled up his computer. The song was everywhere. Streaming. Selling. Millions of plays. But every listing said, produced by Marcus Taylor. He's in jail, Sky said. How is he doing this? Claire leaned over the screen. He's not. Leo is. She was right. In the comments, people were fighting. This is stolen. Sky made this alone. Marcus deserves credit. He discovered her. She's lying about everything to destroy a good man. The narrative was shifting. Jonas called Senator Blake. We're aware, Blake said. Marcus's lawyer filed copyright claims this morning. Says you recorded that song while under contract. Technically, they own it. That's insane. I recorded it at Jonas's studio. After I escaped. Prove it. Without Leo's testimony, it's your word against paperwork. The line went dead. Sky stared at her father's song. The one pure thing she'd created. Being weaponized against her. They're destroying my credibility, she whispered. Making people think I'm lying about everything. Jonas slammed his laptop shut. We fight back. We release a statement. Show timestamps. Prove you weren't there when. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. He answered on speaker. Leo's voice. Calm. Cold. Enjoying the song? I made a few tweaks. Hope you don't mind. You're destroying evidence, Jonas said. I'm protecting my investment. See, Marcus might be locked up, but I'm not. And I have access to everything. Every file. Every contract. Every recording. Sky grabbed the phone. What do you want? Simple. Drop the charges. Admit you lied about Marcus. Say it was all a misunderstanding. Never. Then I keep releasing tracks. Keep editing credits. Keep making you look like a fraud. By the time the trial happens, no one will believe you. People saw the evidence. Evidence I'm currently erasing. Leo laughed. I'm inside the federal server right now. Deleting files. Corrupting audio. Doctoring timestamps. By morning, half your proof will be gone. Claire grabbed the phone. You can't access federal servers. That's impossible. Is it? Ask Detective Morris's password. Oh wait, I already have it. The line went dead. Jonas immediately called Blake. Leo's hacking federal evidence. I'll notify cyber crimes. Lock everything down. But 4 hours later, Blake called back. He's good. Really good. We've lost 30% of the files. Audio's been corrupted. Some documents are missing entirely. Sky felt the room spin. So the trial. Still happening. But weaker. Much weaker. They sat in silence. Everything they'd risked. Everything they'd fought for. Crumbling. That night, Sky couldn't sleep. She walked to the window. Federal agents outside. Protecting her. But they couldn't protect the truth. Her phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. Meet me alone. Midnight. The address below. I have the original files. All of them. Uncorrupted. But if you bring anyone, I destroy them. Your choice. Leo. An address followed. An abandoned warehouse across town. Sky stared at the message. It was obviously a trap. But it might also be her only chance to save the evidence. She looked at Jonas asleep on the couch. At Claire in the next room. If she told them, they'd stop her. If she didn't go, Leo might destroy everything. She grabbed her jacket. And walked out the door. The warehouse was dark. Empty. Silent. Sky pushed through the rusted door. Her phone flashlight barely cut through the darkness. Leo? Her voice echoed. Nothing. She walked deeper inside. Past broken machinery. Shattered windows. Graffiti on the walls. Then she saw it. A single spotlight in the center of the space. Illuminating a chair. A microphone. A laptop on a small table. She approached slowly. The laptop screen glowed. A video file queued up. Title, Original Files, Unedited. Her hand hovered over the mouse. Go ahead, a voice said from the shadows. Click it. Leo stepped into the light. Hands in his pockets. Calm. Sky stepped back. Where are the files? Right there. He nodded at the laptop. Everything. Uncorrupted. Exactly as you recorded it. Why? Leo smiled. Because I want you to see what you're fighting for before you make your choice. What choice? Play the video. Then I'll explain. She hesitated. Then clicked play. The screen filled with footage. Her and Jonas in his studio. Recording Bread and Father. Timestamps intact. Audio clean. Then more files. All the evidence Leo had corrupted. Restored. Perfect. This is everything, she whispered. It is. Leo leaned against a pillar. And I'll give it to you. All of it. On one condition. I'm not dropping the charges. I don't want you to. He crossed his arms. I want you to sing. She blinked. What? One performance. Right here. Right now. Just you and that microphone. He gestured to the setup. Sing like you did on that stage when you asked for food. Sing like you did for your father. Sing the truth. Why? Because I need to remember why I got into this business. His voice cracked. Before Marcus. Before the money. Before I became this. Sky stared at him. You were a musician. I was a producer. I wanted to find voices like yours. Real voices. Then Marcus taught me how to profit from them. And I forgot what music was supposed to be. So this is guilt? This is a transaction. You sing. I give you the files. We both get what we need. And if I don't? Leo pulled out a small device. Red button on top. Then I press this. And the files corrupt permanently. Unrecoverable. She looked at the microphone. At the laptop. At Leo holding her future in his hand. One song, she said. One song. She walked to the microphone. Closed her eyes. And sang. Not for Leo. Not for the files. For her father. For Claire. For the 4 girls before her. She sang Bread and Father from memory. Every word raw. Every note painful. When she finished, the warehouse was silent. Leo's face was wet with tears. Thank you, he whispered. He placed the laptop on the chair. It's yours. All of it. Then he walked toward the exit. Wait, Sky called. What happens now? You just disappear? Leo stopped. I turn myself in. Tomorrow. I'll testify against Marcus and Morris. Tell them everything. Why? Because you reminded me what I used to be. Before I became a monster. He looked back. Your father would be proud of you. He left. Sky grabbed the laptop. Hands shaking. She opened the files. Everything was there. Perfect. Uncorrupted. She called Jonas. I have the files. All of them. Where are you? You just left without. I'll explain. Send Blake's people to my location. Leo's turning himself in tomorrow. She hung up. Federal agents arrived 10 minutes later. Secured the warehouse. Took the laptop. Blake reviewed the files. This changes everything. The trial's back on. Stronger than before. Sky nodded. Exhausted. Jonas drove her back to the safe house. You shouldn't have gone alone. I know. But you got what we needed. I did. They drove in silence. At the safe house, Claire was waiting. Leo contacted me. Said he's surrendering tomorrow at noon. Will he actually show? Jonas asked. He will, Sky said quietly. He meant it. That night, news broke. Leo Martinez to testify against Marcus Taylor. Final evidence recovered in trafficking case. Trial set for next month. Sky watched the headlines scroll past. It was really ending. She fell asleep for the first time in weeks without fear. But at 3 a.m., her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. A woman's voice. Panicked. Young. Sky. You don't know me. But I'm one of the 4 girls. From before you. Sky sat up. Are you okay? No. They found me. Marcus's people. Not Leo. Someone else. Someone higher up. The girl's voice broke. They said if I testify, my family dies. They know where my little sister goes to school. They sent me a photo of her playground. Sky's blood ran cold. Where are you? Hiding. But they're everywhere. And if they're coming for me, the girl sobbed. They're coming for you too. Who? Who's coming? The person who funded Marcus. The one who made millions off all of us. Marcus and Morris were just employees. Who is it? The line crackled. A scream. Then silence. Hello? Sky shouted. Hello? Dead air. She called Blake immediately. One of the victims just called me. Someone threatened her family. She said Marcus worked for someone bigger. Blake's voice was ice. Stay where you are. Don't open the door for anyone. I'm sending a team now. The call ended. Sky ran to Jonas's room. Pounded on the door. We need to leave. Now. He opened it, groggy. What's wrong? There's someone above Marcus. Someone who's already coming for the witnesses. Claire appeared in the hallway. Then we're all targets. The lights in the safe house went out. All of them. At once. In the darkness, Sky heard it. The front door opening. Footsteps. Multiple. Coming up the stairs. Jonas grabbed her arm. Back window. Now. They ran. Behind them, a voice called out. A woman's voice. Familiar. Cold. Going somewhere, Sky? Sky froze. She knew that voice. Senator Blake. Senator Blake stepped into the dim hallway. 2 armed men flanked her. Not federal agents. Private security. I asked you a question, Blake said calmly. Going somewhere? Sky's voice shook. You saved us. You arrested Marcus and Morris. I contained a situation. Blake walked closer. Marcus got sloppy. Drew too much attention. Arrested him myself before he could expose the real operation. Jonas stepped in front of Sky. What operation? Blake smiled. You think Marcus was making millions? That was pocket change. I've been running this for 15 years. 12 girls before Sky. Each one earning me 30 to 40 million. Claire's voice cut through the darkness. You funded everything. Funded. Managed. Protected. Blake stopped 5 feet away. Marcus thought he was the boss. He was middle management. Morris kept police away. Leo handled tech. But me? I built the empire. Your daughter, Sky whispered. You said she wanted to be a singer. You said. I don't have a daughter. Blake's voice turned ice. That was a story to gain your trust. Worked perfectly. Sky felt sick. Why? Money. Power. Control. Blake shrugged. Desperate girls with extraordinary voices are easy to exploit. And society blames them when they break. Not me. Never me. Jonas pulled out his phone. I'm calling real federal agents. One of Blake's men pulled a gun. No. You're not. Jonas froze. Blake gestured to the window. That back window you were running toward? 20-foot drop. Concrete below. You'd break both legs before you hit the ground. So what? Claire said. You kill us? We already uploaded everything. Millions of people saw the evidence. Evidence against Marcus and Morris. Not me. Blake pulled out her phone. I've spent the last 2 weeks scrubbing my name from every file. Every bank record. Every contract. Good luck proving I exist in any of this. Sky's hands clenched. Leo knows. He'll testify. Leo's dead. The words hit like a punch. What? Sky gasped. Car accident. Tonight. Right after he contacted you. Tragic. Witnesses say he swerved to avoid a deer. Blake tilted her head. No one will testify now. Jonas stared at her. You killed him. I protected my investment. Now I'm cleaning up loose ends. Blake nodded to her men. Take them to the van. Quietly. The men moved forward. Claire grabbed a lamp and swung. Connected with one man's head. He dropped. Jonas tackled the other. Blake pulled her own gun. Enough. Everyone froze. She aimed at Sky. You've caused me more problems than you're worth. But your voice is still valuable. So here's your choice. Come with me quietly. Record 5 more albums under my control. Or I kill everyone in this room starting with Jonas. Sky looked at Jonas. At Claire. Both ready to fight and die. Don't, Sky said. Don't let her kill you for me. Sky, no, Jonas started. I'll go. She stepped forward. But you let them live. You let them walk out of here. Blake considered it. Fine. They're useless anyway. No one will believe them without proof. Sky, don't do this, Claire begged. But Sky was already walking toward Blake. The senator grabbed her arm. Pulled her close. Smart girl. Jonas lunged forward. Blake fired. The bullet hit the ceiling. Warning shot. Next one's real, Blake said. Stay back. She dragged Sky toward the stairs. Jonas and Claire could only watch, helpless. At the door, Blake paused. Oh, and that girl who called you? The witness? She's not dead. Yet. But if you try to follow us, she will be. Along with her little sister. She pulled Sky outside into a waiting van. Jonas ran to the window. Watched the van disappear into the night. He grabbed his phone with shaking hands. Called the one person he could think of. The call went to voicemail. This is Jonas Reed. Senator Blake is the real trafficker. She has Sky. She killed Leo. If anyone hears this. The line cut off. His phone screen went black. Dead battery. Claire tried hers. Same thing. Dead. She jammed the signal, Claire said. We're cut off. They looked at each other in the dark safe house. No phones. No backup. No proof. And Sky was gone. Inside the van, Blake zip-tied Sky's hands. Where are we going? Sky asked. Somewhere far away. Where your voice will make me rich. And no one will ever find you. The van drove through empty streets. Sky stared out the window, memorizing every turn, every street sign. If she was going to escape, she needed to know where she was. They drove for an hour. Finally stopped at a private airfield. A small plane waited on the runway. Blake dragged her out. International flight. No passport needed when you own the pilot. Sky looked around. No one. Just empty runway and darkness. This was it. Her last chance. She went limp. Dead weight. Blake stumbled. Get up. Sky stayed down. Blake nodded to her guard. Carry her. The guard bent down. Sky kicked up. Hard. Connected with his throat. He dropped, gasping. She rolled. Hands still tied. Scrambled to her feet. Ran toward the darkness beyond the runway. Blake fired twice. Bullets sparked off concrete. Sky kept running. Behind her, Blake's voice echoed. There's nowhere to go. We're 50 miles from the city. Sky ran anyway. Into the dark field beyond the runway. Ran until her lungs burned. Looked back. Flashlights searching. Coming closer. She ducked into a drainage ditch. Pressed against the concrete wall. Held her breath as flashlights swept overhead. Footsteps. Close. Then fading. Find her. Blake screamed. She can't have gone far. Sky waited. Shaking. Hands still bound. And then she heard it. A phone ringing. Close by. She crawled forward. Found a phone lying in the dirt. Someone had dropped it. She pressed her bound hands together and answered. Hello, she whispered. A voice she didn't recognize. This is FBI. Who is this? Her heart nearly stopped. My name is Sky. Senator Blake kidnapped me. I'm at a private airfield. The phone was yanked from her hands. Blake stood over her. Face twisted with rage. You should have stayed in the van. She raised her gun. Aimed at Sky's head. And pulled the trigger. Click. Empty chamber. Blake stared at the gun. Out of ammunition. Sky didn't wait. She kicked Blake's legs. The senator stumbled backward. Sirens erupted in the distance. Growing louder. Blake's face went pale. No. They can't. Helicopter searchlights flooded the airfield. FBI. On the ground. Now. Blake's guards dropped their weapons and ran. The pilot fled toward the plane. Blake stood frozen, staring at the approaching vehicles. Sky rolled away. Hands still bound. A dozen FBI vehicles screeched to a halt. Agents poured out. Hands where we can see them. Blake slowly raised her hands. Face blank. Shocked. An agent ran to Sky. Cut the zip ties. Are you hurt? I'm okay, she gasped. They lifted her to her feet. Wrapped a blanket around her. Blake was cuffed. Read her rights. As they led her past Sky, the senator stopped. Looked at her one last time. You destroyed everything, Blake said quietly. You destroyed yourself, Sky replied. Blake was shoved into a van. Door slammed shut. The lead agent approached Sky. That call you made? We traced it. Got here as fast as we could. Whose phone was it? Leo Martinez's. He dropped it before his accident. Must have fallen out during the struggle. Sky's throat tightened. He saved me. Even after he died. The agent nodded. We've recovered everything. Blake's operation. Bank accounts. Locations of the other victims. It's over. Sky couldn't speak. Could only nod. They drove her back to the city. To a real federal building. Real protection. Jonas and Claire were already there. Waiting. Jonas ran to her. Pulled her into a hug. I thought we lost you. Almost did, she whispered. Claire joined them. Silent. Shaking. Over the next 3 days, everything unraveled. Blake's empire exposed. 20 locations. 34 victims total. 15 years of trafficking. The news exploded worldwide. Senator Blake arrested for trafficking ring. 15-year operation exposed. Victims finally get justice. Marcus and Morris both flipped. Testified against Blake. Trying to reduce their sentences. Danny was found hiding in Nevada. Arrested. Cooperated fully. All 12 girls before Sky were located. Alive. Free. Protected. The trial lasted 6 weeks. Sky testified for 4 hours. Told everything. Showed every scar. Blake sat emotionless through it all. Until the verdict. Guilty on all counts. 75 years. No parole. Marcus, 40 years. Morris, 35 years. Danny, 10 years for cooperation. When they led Blake away, she looked at Sky one final time. I gave you food. You gave me ghosts. Sky said nothing. Because it was true. After the trial, Jonas offered Sky his studio again. No contracts. No pressure. Just music. If you want. She thought about it for days. Finally, she picked up her father's guitar. Sat in the studio alone. And sang. Not for money. Not for fame. For healing. She recorded an entire album over 3 months. 10 songs. All true. All hers. When it was done, Jonas asked, what do you want to do with it? Release it. Free. No streaming fees. No sales. Just, give it away. Jonas smiled. Your father would love that. They uploaded it on a Saturday morning. Within hours, it was downloaded 10 million times. Comments poured in. This saved my life. Thank you for surviving. Your father is proud. Sky read every single one. 3 months later, she visited her father's grave. Laid flowers. Sat in the grass. I sang, Daddy, she whispered. And I survived. The wind carried her words away. Behind her, a woman approached. Mid-20s. Nervous. Sky. She turned. I'm Maya. One of the 12 girls before you. Sky stood. Are you okay? Maya nodded. Because of you. We all are. She held out a letter. We wanted to say thank you. All of us. Sky opened it. 12 signatures. 12 stories of survival. And at the bottom, one sentence. You turned our pain into power. Now we're doing the same. Sky looked up. What do you mean? Maya smiled. We're starting a foundation. For victims. Real help. Real protection. We want you to lead it. I don't know if I can. You already did. You broke the system that broke us. Sky looked at the letter. At Maya. At her father's grave. Okay, she said quietly. I'll do it. That night, Jonas called. There's someone here to see you. Says it's urgent. Sky drove to the studio. A woman waited inside. Hood up. Face hidden. She pulled back the hood. Sky's breath caught. It was the girl who'd called her. The witness Blake threatened. You're alive, Sky whispered. The girl nodded. Because you saved me. But there's something you need to know. What? Blake wasn't the top. There's someone higher. Someone who funded her. Sky's blood ran cold. Who? The girl pulled out a folder. Handed it over. Inside were photos. Bank records. Names. Sky's hands shook as she read. No, she whispered. This can't be real. But it was. The person funding Blake's entire operation. The real monster behind everything. Was someone Sky had trusted from the very beginning. Sky stared at the name in the folder. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. No, she whispered. Not her. The girl nodded. I'm sorry. But look at the transfers. The shell companies. The offshore accounts. It all leads back to one person. Jonas looked over Sky's shoulder. His face went white. Claire. The woman who claimed to be a victim. Who helped Sky's father. Who guided them through everything. She played us, Jonas said quietly. The girl continued. Claire wasn't a victim. She was Blake's recruiter. She found the girls. Vetted them. Made sure they were desperate enough to trap. Sky's mind raced back. Every moment with Claire. Every piece of advice. Every note slipped under the door. She was controlling everything, the girl said. Making sure you discovered the truth at exactly the right pace. Enough to trust her. Not enough to suspect her. But she helped us escape, Sky said. She helped you expose Marcus and Blake. Her competition. The girl pointed to bank records. Claire's been running her own operation in 3 other states. Smaller. Quieter. More profitable. Jonas grabbed his phone. We call the FBI right now. No, Sky said. They both looked at her. If we call them, she runs. Disappears like Leo was supposed to. Sky's voice hardened. We end this ourselves. How? Jonas asked. Sky pulled out her phone. We give her what she wants. 20 minutes later, Sky sent a text to Claire. I need to see you. Alone. About the foundation. Can you come to the studio tonight? Claire responded immediately. Of course. Be there in an hour. Sky looked at the girl. Will you testify? Yes. I have copies of everything. Hidden. Safe. Then hide. Don't come out until this is over. The girl left through the back. Jonas set up cameras. Hidden. Recording everything. If she confesses on camera, it's over, he said. Sky nodded. She will. She's too arrogant not to. An hour later, Claire arrived. Smiled warmly. Hugged Sky. You okay? You sounded upset. Sky stepped back. I found something today. What? The truth. Claire's smile faltered. Just for a second. I don't understand, she said carefully. Sky pulled out the folder. Dropped it on the table. Claire stared at it. Didn't move. You funded Blake, Sky said. For years. You weren't a victim. You were the architect. Silence filled the studio. Then Claire laughed. Soft. Cold. Took you long enough. The warmth in her voice evaporated, replaced by ice. I gave you everything, Claire said. The notes. The evidence. The path to Blake. And you followed it perfectly. You used me to eliminate your competition. Blake got greedy. Sloppy. Drew too much attention. She had to go. Claire sat down. Relaxed. Confident. You were the perfect weapon. Sympathetic. Desperate. Believable. Jonas moved toward the door. Claire pulled out a gun. Don't. They froze. You think I didn't know about your cameras? Claire gestured to the ceiling. Disabled them an hour ago. There's no recording. No proof. Just your word against mine. Then why confess? Sky asked. Claire smiled. Because I'm not confessing. I'm recruiting. Sky's stomach dropped. You have something Blake never did, Claire said. Real talent. Real pain. People believe you. Trust you. Imagine what we could do together. Never. Think about it. That foundation you're starting? I can fund it. Really help those girls. Give them real resources. Real protection. All while building something bigger. You mean trafficking more girls? I mean giving desperate people options. Like I gave you. Claire leaned forward. Your father's hospital bills? I was going to pay them. Really pay them. But you ran before I could. The lie hit like poison. You're insane, Jonas said. Claire ignored him. Focused on Sky. You can keep fighting systems that will never change. Or you can work with me. Build something that actually protects girls like us. There is no us, Sky said. You're a monster. Claire's face hardened. Then you're useless to me. She raised the gun. The studio door exploded open. FBI agents flooded in. Weapons drawn. Drop it. Now. Claire spun. Fired once. Missed. Agents returned fire. Claire dropped. Blood pooling. The gun clattered across the floor. Sky couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. An agent checked Claire's pulse. She's alive. Get a medic. They dragged her out. Cuffed. Bleeding. Screaming threats. The lead agent approached Sky. The girl you talked to earlier? She was wearing a wire. We heard everything. Sky looked at Jonas. You called them. Before Claire arrived. I wasn't taking chances. She collapsed into a chair. It was finally over. Claire survived surgery. Arrested. Charged with 23 counts of trafficking across 4 states. Trial lasted 3 months. Guilty on every count. Life without parole. Finally. Justice. But we're not done yet. One chapter left and I promise you it's going to hit different. If you've made it this far, you're part of this journey. Subscribe, comment what this story taught you, and let's finish this together. The Foundation launched 6 months later. 12 survivors. 1 mission. Real protection for victims. Sky stood at the opening ceremony. Microphone in hand. My father once told me to sing slowly. To take my time. To feel every word. Her voice carried across the crowd. I didn't understand what he meant until now. She gestured to the survivors beside her. We're singing a new song. One of survival. Of justice. Of hope. And we're taking our time. Because this fight doesn't end in one day. Applause erupted. That night, Sky visited her father's grave one last time. "It's done, Daddy. They're all gone. Marcus. Blake. Morris. Claire. All of them." She placed flowers on the stone. I kept singing. "Like you asked." The wind carried her words into the night. And somewhere in the distance, she thought she heard it. Her father's voice. "Eat slowly." 1 year later. Sky stood backstage at the Chicago Theater. The same city where it all began. But this time, she chose to be here. Jonas adjusted her microphone. "You ready?" She looked out at the crowd. 2,000 seats. All filled. Survivors. Families. Supporters. "I'm ready." The lights dimmed. She walked onto the stage. No fancy dress. No makeup. Just her and a guitar. The crowd went silent. She sat on a stool. Positioned her fingers on the strings. And spoke. "A year ago, I stood on a different stage and asked a question." Her voice echoed through the theater. "If I sing well, will you give me a plate of food?" People shifted in their seats. Remembering. I was desperate. Hungry. Scared. I didn't know that question would change everything. She strummed once. But it did. Because someone filmed it. Someone saw value in my pain. And someone decided to trap me. The room was still. 4 men and 2 women tried to destroy me. Marcus. Leo. Danny. Morris. Blake. Claire. She paused. Most of them are in prison now. One is dead. But this story isn't about them. She looked up. Met the eyes of the survivors in the front row. It's about 34 girls who survived. Who sang when they had no voice. Who fought when they had no strength. Who lived when the world wanted them silent. Applause rippled through the crowd. She raised her hand. Silence returned. My father died believing I'd abandoned him. He never knew I was trapped. Fighting. Trying to save him. Her voice cracked. But he left me something. A letter. A key. And words I didn't understand until now. She began playing. Soft. Slow. He told me to eat slowly. To take my time. To savor every moment. She smiled through tears. He wasn't talking about food. He was talking about life. She sang. Not bread and father. Not anything recorded. A new song. Written that morning. About fathers and daughters. About hunger that heals. About voices that survive. The melody was simple. The lyrics raw. When she reached the final verse, the survivors in the front row stood. Then the second row. Then the entire theater. 2,000 people on their feet. Silent. Listening. She sang the last line. If I sing well, I feed myself. The guitar rang out. Then stopped. Silence. Then thunder. Applause that shook the walls. Tears streaming down faces. People holding each other. Sky stood. Bowed. The stage lights dimmed. She walked off. Jonas met her in the wings. That was perfect. She smiled. It was true. They walked out the back exit into the Chicago night. The same streets where she'd once sung for coins. Now free. Healed. Whole. A young girl approached. Maybe 13. Holding a guitar case. Excuse me? Are you Sky? She nodded. The girl's hands shook. I want to be a singer. My mom says it's dangerous. That people will hurt me. But I saw your story. And I thought, maybe it's possible. Sky knelt down. What's your name? Mia. Mia, listen to me. People will try to use you. They'll promise you everything and give you nothing. But your voice is yours. No one can take it unless you let them. How do I protect it? Sing for yourself first. Not for money. Not for fame. For you. Sky tapped the girl's guitar case. And never sign anything without reading it 3 times. Mia smiled. Thank you. She ran back to her mother waiting on the corner. Jonas watched them go. Think she'll be okay? She will. Because now she knows the truth. They walked toward Jonas's car. Sky's phone buzzed. A message from Maya. A photo of all 12 survivors at the foundation office. Caption, we're changing the world. One voice at a time. Sky replied, so am I. She put the phone away. Looked up at the Chicago skyline. The same sky her father once looked at. The same stars. I made it, Daddy, she whispered. I sang. And I survived. The wind carried her words into the night. And somewhere, in a place between memory and hope, she felt his reply. I always knew you would. She climbed into the car. Jonas started the engine. Where to? Sky smiled. Home. They drove away. The street corner where she once begged sat empty now. But if you listened closely, you could still hear it. The echo of a girl who sang for food. And found her freedom instead. The end.